Hi everyone, this is Allison Harris, Measurement and Assessment Coach, and today I'm going to show you how you can use FastBridge to monitor your behavior goals. So when you log in as a specialist, you'll go to Progress Monitoring. From this page, you'll click on Create/Add to Groups. Now I'm in the demo account and I have a lot of different schools. If you just work at one school, you won't see this step here. So the one thing to note about the behavior groups within FastBridge is it is individual per student. So I can select the student that I would like to track. So let's say Leonardo. So I'll click his name, and now we can see I've selected Leonardo. So you may be familiar with creating the academic groups, but what we're actually going to do is create a new behavior group. So click that button. And then it brings us to set up our progress monitoring group. So you can see here it has different behaviors. So there's some social behaviors, academic, and emotional. And FastBridge lets you select up to 3 per category. I would caution you from to not choose more than a total of 3 behaviors. So let's say I have a student who is has some executive functioning goals. So those would probably all be in the academic area, so I can uncheck whatever was selected here. So let's say this student we're tracking academic engagement and organization. I could select another, but let's say this student just has those 2. So it'll automatically create a group name for me with the student's name and then behavior PM. We'll leave the default frequency to every week. And then we need to set up the periods that we're going to rate. So let's say every morning I see this student from 8 a.m. to 8:20, and I'm going to do that every day of the week. Now, one thing I have learned through trial and error here is it's best to set up more periods initially, even if you're not sure if you're going to assess at each period, because it is pretty difficult to add additional rating periods once the group is set up. So I'd say just kind of set up more than you think you might use, and it's okay to not put data in each piece. So if I wanted an afternoon one as well, I could say, let's see, I see the student from 1 o'clock to 1:30, maybe just 3 days a week. So once you've got that set up, you're going to scroll down, and we see the 2 behaviors we selected. So academic engagement, we need a baseline score. So this student, we'll say right now, is showing academic engaged behaviors, 25% of opportunities, and our goal is we'd like them to get to 80%. I'm just making these up right now. Organization, let's say they show those behaviors 10% of the time, and maybe we'd like that to be 80 as well. So once you've done that, you'll click Save. Oh, let me just see who the student is. Okay, Leonardo. So I'm going to save. And now, when I go to Progress Monitoring, it defaults to view academic groups, but if you click here for behavior groups, this is where you'll find your academic. So that student we just created is Leonardo, so I'm going to search for him. Here he is. If I click this down triangle, I can see any of these periods here with the timer icon. I can click and I can indicate what I observed during that time. So Friday morning, organization, let's say 40% of opportunities, or sometimes he was organized. And then academic engagement, maybe he had a really awesome day and he was at 80% of the time. So once I've rated that, I can click Submit Test. And then when I search for my student, I can click on these bars here to see the graph that's associated with that. So once I have more data points, I'll start to see some trend lines.